Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you questions that were posted on the site. I think we've got 8 questions with a positive rating right now. So I'm going to go ahead and ask all of them in no particular order. I guess just as an introduction, I'm Faro. This is James and Travis. They're 2 friends of mine. Both of them are high-rated players, and I like to think that I'm decently rated. So we're going to go ahead and start answering some questions. First question, what do you think about the new champ, Miss Fortune?
I think that it should have been another ninja. That's my
Why is that?
personal feedback on the situation. Because no one wants another pirate. They should give a ninja with guns, and then I would buy her. I think Riot made a horrible decision. Lots of people like Kennen and Shin and Akali, but they just failed at their skills, except for Shin, because he's amazing. And pirates suck.
I like Shen and Kennen.
That's why I hate.
No, actually, Miss Fortune looks pretty cool. I think definitely like Ezreal and Kog'Maw. Even after Ezreal gets nerfed, I think Ezreal and Kog'Maw, definitely Kog'Maw. You know, Kog'Maw's in his own league now, but Tristana and Ashe Ashe needs something, because Ashe has to play so defensive the entire game because of champions like Vlad, because of champions like Olaf, because of champions like Xin Zhao. Like, these new characters that come into play, they can just get to Ashe without anyone stopping them, and then Ashe just melts. And Tristana's almost the same way if it wasn't for Rocket Jump, and I think Miss Fortune is, going to be a good range physical carry.
I don't know. I mean, she doesn't really have any escape mechanisms. Like, she's basically Ashe, except she doesn't have a slow. She doesn't have an arrow. All she's got is her passive, which is a lot of movement speed out of combat, and then she's got the rocket time slow, is it? Or is it her E that's slow? Like, she's got one slow, but she doesn't have the spammable slows that Ashe does. I think she's
Well,
going to be more of an
why.
assassin. She's
People
going
are
to be
like
more like
hyping up her
cavalry.
passive. It's not that great.
Yeah, I mean, it's her only method of escape, and it's her only way to participate in a team fight. So I'm not tripping balls about it. Like, it's a really, really good passive, but it's pretty much all she's got. So she could be pretty fun. Like, I'm gonna wait until I actually get a player to say something about it. But,
Well, I think the biggest thing that you have to remember about Tristan Tristana and Ashe is they're pick away characters, and Miss Fortune really seems like just a burst opponent. Like, even if you get to her, she's gonna make you pay for it, and she's gonna shred her little ass around, and she's gonna make you pay for it again. I mean, double up's really good because it's gonna do multiple amounts of damage to multiple amounts of people, and I mean, like, anyone that gets close to her is just gonna have to pay a price,
Yeah, I mean, if she punishes people for getting close, then that's gonna be a good carrier. But most of the time the people getting close are like Sunfire Garen or a Shen or an Amumu. Those aren't people you want to punish.
Alright, you ain't gonna punish a Sunfire Garen. I don't
Yeah.
care. You have to be Kog'Maw. Alright, that's Miss Fortune is not that
Pretty much.
beastie.
Exactly. Like, she's not gonna have the damage output she needs to, because her ultimate it's a frontal cone, right? It's basically a Heartseeker strike on steroids, isn't it?
essentially. I mean, it's a ranged Heartseeker strike, and from the picture, it looks like it has great range.
Well, if it's got good
I mean-
range and she can kill the squishies, then she'll be alright. Anyway, we gotta not spend too much time on questions because we got 7 more. So, next question is, what do you think of the balancing issues in the game? Does Riot spend too much time making new champions without fixing the old, or do they do enough of both already? As someone who's been in the game since, July of last year, when the first wave of public beta invites went out. I think they spent a lot of time both making champions and adjusting champions. They're definitely a lot better at it now than they were back then, because pretty much since I joined the game, Cardmaster was broken, and he didn't get nerfed until January. So that's almost 6 months, maybe a little longer, of one character being overpowered. But right now they do a pretty good job of, nerfing certain characters or certain comps. And I don't think they hand out the buffs as well as they hand out the nerfs, but I think they do a good job of nerfing characters that are overpowered. What do you guys think?
I can't really comment on this because I haven't been playing the game for very long. I've been playing since like January. But I don't know, I think people don't realize how hard it is to balance a game like this. Because you can't balance all these heroes like in one patch. You can't do small changes because you need a constant. You need something to remain the same so you can find out what the problem is. So you have to do one hero at a time. I think they're doing fine because that's the way I do it. I think Shirelia isn't doing that great of a job when it comes to buffing people, because when I see like buffs, I think to myself, why would they do that? That's not smart. Like Kog'Maw's buff, I'm like, why would you give him attack speed? His whole thing
That's too much
is
synergy. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's taking chunks of health out of people at massive range. Why would you give him a passive ability that now, instead of armor pin, which was fine, in my opinion, to attack speed? It doesn't make sense. I don't know. I think they're doing fine though, balancing old and new. It just takes time. People need to be patient.
Yeah. And Kog'Maw's a really good character of, the smallest thing changing everyone's perspective of a character. And I think Kog'Maw's really a combination of elements. Like he's really good in the current game because a lot of people, run Vlad, run China, run Garen, run Singed, run big HP characters. So it makes him strong, but more than that, the attack speed buff, the attack speed buff gave him what he needed to be completely ridiculous. Like if they revert that change, he's still going to be a good character because he's a DPS that can sit in the back and just turret away at people, but he's not going to be ridiculous.
So,
yeah, and
I hate to be a dick sausage, but what's that got to do with balancing all the new characters?
Well, no, I was just bringing up Kog'Maw as a good point of delicate balance.
You are.
I hate
Stay on top. Stay on top.
Okay.
No, I wanted to make something to that, and I agree with you, James, because I don't think that they should spend more time balancing. It's like you said, it's going to take time, and one of the biggest essentials about this game is, how many people are looking forward to the new character? Like as soon as the newest character comes out, people are automatically thinking after they play it the first few times, all right, well, I suck with this one too. Who's the next one coming out? Or I'm good with this one too. Who's the next one coming out? Like that's keeping so many people interested in this game, and it's one of the reasons this game's so hot right now. Because every single person is literally acting like the new character is a drug. They're gonna buy it. They're gonna buy a skin for it, and they're gonna play the crap out of it until Riot decides they're gonna come out with another one. And people are literally hanging off the edge of each new character. They're writing about it on the forums. They're giving they're building every single one up, and I think Riot's going to continue to do that with as much success as they had.
One thing I want to say about that, like, I think China is one of those characters that really had kind of a ridiculous impact on the game when he first got implemented. He didn't have the public scrutiny. Like he skipped the PTR phase completely, so they just tossed him on live, and he just went around destroying everything. Like he's still ridiculous, and they nerfed him, decently. But I just find it strange that someone like that came out when you compare him to the next characters, or the characters around him, I should say. Someone like Vlad or Urgot or Udyr's first incarnation. You know,
Wait, who's Urgot and Gallia? Are they characters?
Not when you compare them to China, no.
I mean, I guess,
Next.
like, you could... Yeah, go ahead.